everybody. Remember that this week we are working on chapter 1, and since you have covered most of the topics in chapter 1, I just want to give you some quick refreshers on the things you need to remember for this chapter. So for today's lesson, I have 4 objectives, and make sure you write them and check them off as you learn them during the lesson. So let's start with writing answers in the algebra class. Remember that in the algebra class, there are certain rules you have to follow when answering questions. So instead of writing 2 times 3, we are no longer going to use the x, we are going to use the dot, and it's going to be 2 times 3 with the dot. For division, you're not going to use the division symbol anymore. Instead, you're going to use the fraction line. And the fraction line needs to be horizontal. Similarly, no fractions must be written with a slanty line, a forward slash. You have to write it as a horizontal fraction. Whenever you end up with an answer where the 0 is in the denominator, you cannot leave your answer as a over 0. In the next step, you have to write that it is undefined. The number is undefined. Similarly, when you solve a problem and you end up with a 0 in the numerator with a variable in the denominator, you cannot leave your answer in this form. The correct answer is 0 because the value of this number is 0. Remember that 1 is invisible as a coefficient. So if you have 1 times x, we no longer write the 1, we simply write x. Similarly, when we have a negative 1 times x, we write just negative x. So now let's evaluate an algebraic expression using parentheses. These parentheses are very important, especially when you have to use negative numbers. So let's say you're given that x is equal to 2, y is equal to 3, z is equal to 4, a is equal to 4 over 5 and b is equal to 3 over 5. Now you may want to stop the video and see if you can calculate these by yourself and then check how I showed my work and whether your answer is the same as mine. So here we have 25ab plus y over x times z, and I had to do some writing on my surface. It's not very nicely done. But I expect you to show me great work in your notebook. So first I'm going to substitute using parentheses. So in the numerator, those are the numbers, and the denominator is 2 times 4. In the numerator, it's 25, and then on the bottom we have 5 times 5, which is also 25. So the 25 will cancel with the 5s, and you will end up with, basically it will be 25 times 12 over 25 plus 3. Therefore, the numerator will become 12 plus 3 over 8, which you must simplify, and it becomes 1 and 7 over 8. I hope you got that right. Let's look at the second one. This one, the square belongs to the entire parentheses, not just to the x. You need to be very careful on where the square lies. So here we will substitute using parentheses as much as possible. And so in the next step, it's 2 squared plus 8 over 5 followed by, you simplify the answer and the answer is 5 and 3 over 5. You're going to try some more of these for homework. The next objective was to find the multiplicative inverse. For every non-zero real number a, there exists a multiplicative inverse 1 over a, so that if you take a and multiply it by 1 over a, or you multiply it by its multiplicative inverse, the result will be 1. Therefore, the multiplicative inverse of 4 is 1/4, since 4 times 1/4 is going to give you 1. Combining like terms. Now, this is again something you have covered in pre-algebra, so just a quick review. An algebraic expression is made up of many terms. Each term has a coefficient and a combination of variables. Like terms can be combined, unlike terms cannot be combined. You may want to stop the video again, see if you can simplify this by yourself, and then check your answer. Similarly, on the right side, I have another problem for you. This one is slightly tricky because it has fractions. This first fraction says 7/8 x, and the second fraction says x over 8. I hope many of you know that negative x over 8 is the same as negative 1/8 x. And so, when you simplify, it becomes 6 over 8, but you must always reduce fractions. So it's x squared plus 3/4 x. I want you to try this by yourself. Once you're finished, you should check the answer, but pause the video right now. Okay, and this is your assignment for tonight. Please make sure you are making 2 columns of work and writing the question as well as the answer and keeping your notebook really, really neat. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.